Hi, new mentors. My name is Nadlin, and I'm really excited to welcome you to Bye Bye Anxiety's English speaking program community. So before we begin the presentation, just a few things. A BBA mentor will get in touch with you and give you your buddy's contact number. After you receive your buddy's contact number, please contact them to schedule your first meeting. Okay, so for the presentation, we'll be talking about three things. Number one, I'm going to give you tips and tricks to make a smoother session. Number two, mentor expectations. Number three, we're going to go over the volunteer materials on our website. So this is the BBA team right now. If you guys are interested in leadership positions or any special opportunities, definitely check out the volunteers page. We're looking for volunteer recruits and social media directors. So first of all, let me establish that our program is safe. All the students that join our program are aged 14 to 18, and we all recruit them through social media or through personal connections. Upon registration, the students complete a form detailing their full name, age, school, and any relevant contact information. We then interview the students face-to-face through video call just to make sure that whatever they say is true. Please note to protect your privacy. So what is our program about? Our program teaches conversational English to non-native speakers in Indonesia for free. The program is a 1 hour per week commitment per buddy. So if you have more buddies, then that's going to be more hours for you. And during the session, you can talk about anything. Our programs are meant to be fun. They're not supposed to have a structured Kumon approach, but they're supposed to be just 1 hour where you can talk about anything that you want to with your buddy in conversational English. The whole goal of this program is just to improve your students' confidence to be able to speak English more fluently. Every student will have his or her own English goals. Some of them join our program to improve their grammar, some pronunciation, some to expand their vocabulary, and some even have very specific goals like learning English for business purposes or going to university or to be able to understand movies. So make sure that you check with your buddy what his English goals are during the first session. Based on what your buddy tells you, you might want to adjust some of your lesson plans to suit his or her goal better. Okay, so depending on your preferences, you might want to hold 2 shorter sessions or 1 longer session. If you hold a shorter session, then that should be around 25 to 30 minutes per session or 60 minutes for a longer session. The goal is to meet your buddy for 60 minutes in a week. Now you can meet through WhatsApp, Discord, Zoom, etc., and this can be determined when you contact your buddy to schedule your first meeting. Just remember to keep your videos on as you want to be able to see your buddy and your buddy should be able to see your face. Now moving on to the tips that we have. 4 main tips. First is to talk slowly, especially if you have a beginner. Number 2, ask your buddies to elaborate because rule of thumb, they should be talking around 70 to 80% of the session. Your role is just to guide them, to ask questions, and to give them any feedback when you think it's necessary. Number 3, emphasize your words, but don't sound like you're addressing an elementary school student. And number 4, engage your students if they're shy, especially during the first few sessions. If you ask a question and they don't answer, don't feel awkward about it. Just answer your own question, giving references to your own life, and try to make the buddy feel comfortable so that your buddy will feel engaged to talk. Okay, so what do we do during meetings? During your first few sessions, you're most likely going to talk about your student's life. So his family, his friends, his school. This is just a get to know you period where you and your buddy learn to be comfortable with each other. Beyond that, you can talk about more nuanced topics, and you can even give your buddy articles and videos to watch or read to discuss during your sessions. You can even mix up your sessions using games or by introducing other activities that you can find in our volunteer materials page on our website. You definitely don't have to use the materials that we give you. However, it's there for you to use whenever you need it. Okay, so other volunteer materials. Besides the website, you can also access volunteer materials on our Instagram page. We post regularly on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we post what's called Topic Tuesday and Fact Friday posts, where we give you a whole list of questions based on a specific theme. So this one is on sleeping habits, and it basically lists 5 to 6 different questions. You can check this out before you have a session with your buddy. We generally recommend that you prepare more than what you think you will be able to cover with your buddy during a session. So if you think you can cover 5 questions, try to prepare for 10. General rule of thumb, you usually would have around 10 to 15 questions, especially if you have a beginner, because they might give you shorter answers. All right, so the guidelines are: number 1, to keep your video on, you want to be able to see your buddy's face, and your buddy should be able to see your face throughout the entire session. Number 2, we highly recommend that you ask your buddy whether they want the meetings recorded so that you can track their progress. This is actually really helpful, and it helps to motivate your buddy to learn English even more. So if your buddy says yes, then you can ask them whether they want it recorded through audio or through video recording. And all you have to do is just record 1 to 3 minutes of their discussion every single 2 weeks. After you have an array of clips from these meetings, then you should compile it into one video after 2 months to give to your buddy so they can just review and watch their progress. Number 3, please fill out the tracking form. When we send you your buddy's contact, we will also send you a link to the mentor tracking form. Please complete it after every session that you have with your buddy so that we know that you are attending your sessions and everything is going well. Your buddy will also have a similar form, so please remind them at the end of every session to fill out that form. Okay, number 4, please prepare for and attend your sessions with your students each week. So again, please be prepared for your sessions so that you don't waste each other's times and you can have a productive session. You can prepare articles, videos, or questions beforehand, depending on your buddy's goals and depending on your own judgment of what you think is best for your buddy to have. Remember, if you need any materials, you can visit our website, which Bianca will discuss about further in a few minutes. Number 5, inform your students 72 hours before a session if you have to cancel. So please don't leave your student hanging if you have to cancel for any reason at all. However, we hope that you attend as much sessions as you can and not miss any sessions. Number 6, communicate respectfully with your students. Please try to be respectful in communicating with your students. And number 7, protect you and your buddy's privacies. What I mean by this is, please don't share your buddy's personal information or your private chat messages or videos of them to anyone without their consent. At the same time, your buddy will also maintain this respect for your privacy. If you have any problems at all, definitely send us a direct message on Instagram, or you can contact me or Bianca directly. What do I mean by problems? If your buddy cancels a lot, or if you guys are not getting along, or you guys have scheduling difficulties, definitely send us a message and we'll find a solution for you. I'm going to turn over the call to Bianca right now, who's going to explain our website.
So this is what our website looks like. Hopefully most of you have already checked it out when we sent you the link, when we accepted you into the program, or when we gave you your buddy. But in case you haven't, here it is. This is the homepage. You don't really need to pay attention to this. It's mostly like promotional things, how does it work? And this is actually a video of an example that was shown in Natalie's PowerPoint. So you can watch this example of me talking to a Ukrainian student. Basically, we talked about Christmas in her country and holiday traditions that she does, and I just asked follow-up questions. It's almost like a mini presentation she did. So that's what you can do during the sessions. And yeah, here are the links to all our social media if you need access to that, although most of you already have our contact information like WhatsApp, so you can just use that. And here's the learner page. You don't really need to pay attention to this again, but it would be good to see in case you need to share it with somebody or in case your student is asking something and you want to check it out. Most of it is written in English and Bahasa Indonesia. And learner materials, again, this is the stuff your buddy should have already seen. If not, you can direct them to this website. And here's the hour tracker. So after each session, you and your buddy have to track your hours. So volunteers have their own Google form and buddies have their own Google form. So we already sent each of the Google form links to the buddy and the volunteer individually when we partnered you up. However, here it's the link again in case your buddy lost it or in case they lost the link. And here's the volunteer page. So this kind of reiterates exactly what was mentioned in the PowerPoint, like requirements or why you should volunteer, how to join. Most of you already know how to do this. And here's a small summary of how you should conduct your sessions. And here is a section for special opportunities. We update this every so often with some opportunities like social media manager, recruitment leader to get new students and volunteers, and hospitality and student support leader. Right now, we already have a hospitality and student support leader, and we already have someone doing social media. However, if you are interested in either of these, just let us know. And even if you have any other ideas on how to improve the program or any other leadership opportunities you can take on, just mention it to us. We'll try to make it work for you guys. And here's a tentative position open for leaders for group sessions. Once we have more students, basically you're just leading group sessions exactly the same way you do individual sessions. And here are volunteer materials. Now this section is very important to understanding how to conduct your sessions and sort of like a guideline of what it should look like. Guidelines again, this was already mentioned in the PowerPoint, and this is a section to contact your buddy for the first time. These are some goals you should take. This is an email template that you can use. If you're using WhatsApp or Instagram, obviously don't send this gigantic block of text, adapt it, but that's like a general idea of things you should cover. Your first meeting, the first thing you should do in your first meeting is to get to know your learner, get to know their interests, hobbies, and topics, and understand their goals in English. Do they want to study for the TOEFL exam? Do they just want to improve their English conversation? Or do they want help in vocabulary? And that's a guiding point for your future sessions. Here's some questions to get you started. There are questions like, what's your family life like? What's your house like? How's school? Stuff like that. Uh, Use information we gave you when we connected you and your student, because we also mentioned the subjects they liked or their hobbies, so you can use that as jumping off points for conversation. And here are some more topic and question ideas you could do, and also games and activities to take a break from regular conversation, especially been working really hard to be active and participate in discussion. And here's a section about what we mean by using outside sources. If you have an intermediate to advanced learner, you probably want to challenge them with session materials, which means short articles or videos that discuss a topic you want to address in the meeting. So they should be pretty short. We don't want this to be homework for the students. We want this program to be like a fun supplementary program. And this website is pretty useful to check how difficult an article is for your learner and to make sure it's not too difficult. And just an important point, articles or videos shouldn't be used to teach them about a certain topic, or like lecture about them, or for them to really retain information about like those facts. Obviously, comprehension is really important, so you should make sure to ask comprehension questions. But in general, they should be used so they can just formulate better answers during discussion and to be able to connect those facts from the material to their own lives and the world and their own experiences. This is an example of a pretty advanced plan. You do not have to make something this comprehensive or this advanced. Um, this is just an example to show that if you show this video to your learner, you can ask them questions like, are potatoes a food staple in your country nowadays? Because the video is about history through the eyes of the potato. It starts with comprehension questions like how did the potato help the European population grow? But then it moves on to in your country, is there a special dish made with potatoes? How can food tell a story? So it's less about the actual content of the video, but more about their experiences connecting a little bit to the material. And here's some other meeting ideas and resources you can check out. As Madeline mentioned, there's a BBC website that you can choose to get some ideas for and like a lesson plan. There's some for like formal lesson plans and there's some that are just like discussion based. We recommend to focus still on discussion because that's what this program is about. However, if your learner is really struggling with certain grammar aspects or they are asking for extra support, then you can find some more formal lesson plans and ideas in this other resources. And about tracking student progress, as Madeline mentioned, every 2 weeks you should record 3 to 5 minutes of your meeting. If you have a really motivated student who's very keen on improving their English speaking skills, you can ask them to write a short 2 to 3 minute presentation on a certain topic. It doesn't actually have to be written, or they don't need to create a PowerPoint presentation, but they should prepare for it in advance a little bit, like a few notes or bullet points, so they can are ready to present it during your session. You should make sure to tell them before your session so they have some time to prepare. Here are some presentation ideas. They're pretty basic. They're like favorite topic they learned in school, education system in their area. So make sure, if it's not like a very clear-cut presentation idea, make sure you add some guiding questions, especially for lower intermediate, and higher intermediate students who might need a little bit more guidance in what they should talk about. So post-secondary education, you can talk about standardized testing. Your life in a film could be fun things like that. What's your favorite book, movie, or TV show, like a book report you do in school, or a short pitch about a certain product or object, so like an advertisement. There's countless more things you could do with this, but this could be a way to give feedback to your student without having to interrupt the flow of a conversation, and especially if your student really wants that extra feedback. So here's some other tips for beginner versus advanced learners and international volunteers. And here's our tracking form that we mentioned. You can find the link here if you lose the link that we sent you. Here's some other tips for beginner speakers, advanced speakers. Correcting errors is a document about some ways to give feedback. And also dealing with awkward silences, whether they are just lower level learners or whether they're intimidated or shy. We have some solutions for that. So this is quite long, so you should definitely read it on your own. And if you're an international student, meaning not from Indonesia or just not familiar with Indonesian culture, here's a short section about tips on dealing with that and like some cultural differences. And here's our FAQ section. Most of this information, you would already know it, but if you need more help, you can check this out. You can check this page out first before asking one of us. And here's the About page. Most of you are already added onto this, and you can see who's in the program right now. And that's it. And that's our website. So hope you guys have a great time in our program.
Thanks, Bianca. Okay, so the next question is, how long does the program last? You can join for as long as you want. We hope to continue this program for a long time. So we hope that you can share this program with students and volunteers that you think are interested in joining our program. In terms of how long volunteers usually join, it's usually 3 to 4 months, because that's the minimum months required for CAS and other volunteer activities. But some mentors join up to 6 months. And you don't have to determine how long you're going to stay for at the beginning of the program. If you decide that after 3 months or 4 months in that you want to leave the program, just send us a message 2 weeks before you leave so we can find a new mentor for your buddy. If you have any more questions, definitely check out our FAQ page on our website. It has a lot of questions that volunteers commonly ask. However, if you can't find the answer to a question you're looking for, definitely send me or Bianca a direct message or just DM us on Instagram. So good luck on your first session with your buddy. Again, if you need anything, please contact me or Bianca.